All you need for happiness is a good gun, a good horse, and a good wife. But in those final years, it seemed Boone found something even simpler: acceptance.
Sometimes life can feel pretty disorienting, as if we find ourselves turned around in the woods. But never fear, because we are never truly lost. And with the help of the wilderness, along with footsteps from the past and the present, we will unlock the tools that will help us to rewrite our journey here on the Project Mindfully Outdoors podcast.
Welcome in for this cold, wet, rainy edition of Project Mindfully Outdoors. As always, I'm your guide, Mike Martin. And you know, the weather around me today as I sit and record this, it couldn't be more fitting, because in this episode, we're going to close our journey through the life of Daniel Boone. You know, we've walked beside him all the way from the forest of Pennsylvania, over the ridges of the Appalachians, and into the heart of Kentucky. We saw him face solitude, danger, and even the weight of leadership. But every journey, no matter how legendary, it has to turn inward. And this is the story of old D. Boone in his final years. A time of quiet reflection, loss, and even grace. It's a story about how the greatest wanderer found his way home. There comes a time in every trail where the ground beneath your boots feels different. Not because the earth has changed, but because you have. That's the kind of trail that Daniel Boone found himself walking on his final years. He was older, slower, and quieter, but still guided by the same internal compass that had led him through even the most wildest of places. And though the wilderness around him was shrinking, the one within him had never felt more alive. In his later years, Boone had lost everything that he spent a lifetime building. The Kentucky wilderness that he helped open up had become crowded with settlers and fence lines. The land, his sanctuary, was no longer free. So Boone did what Boone had always done. He moved on. Further west, past what is known as the Mississippi River and into the Mississippi Territory, a whole new frontier, and perhaps the last true wilderness that was left to him. Along the banks of the Theme Osage Creek, he settled, built a cabin, and made it a home for him and his family. He hunted and he trapped while wandering the woods just like he had always done. Not for fame, not for fortune, but instead for peace. These quieter years of Boone's life, where he no longer faced war, instead, he had to encounter loss while reflecting on betrayal and enduring the feelings of heartbreak. Now, he not only dealt with that, but he was looking at a new foe. He had to learn to make peace with time itself. He spent his days exploring the woods, visiting neighbors, while telling stories of the early frontier. People would come from miles around just to sit with him, to hear about his adventures, the stories of courage, of near-death escapes, and of a time before the land was covered by fences. But Boone, he didn't glorify the past. He spoke of it with a reverence, as if the wilderness itself had become the true hero among the entire story. Mindfulness teaches us everything in life, every joy and every sorrow. It's only temporary. They're both just learning experiences. Boone seemed to really understand that long before the word mindfulness was ever used. He knew that holding too tightly to the past only led to suffering. Instead, he learned to let those things go. He learned of the land and of possession. Even the legends that others had built of his name would never hold through the test of time. He once said, "All you need for happiness is a good gun, a good horse, and a good wife." But in those final years, it seemed as if Boone had found something much more simple. He had found acceptance. When I think of Boone in those final years, I think about my own time when I sat next to his grave on a hill in Missouri. The air was still. The sky was heavy with memories, with stories that I had heard from different places, and even the sites that I had visited and hiked that were important milestones along his journey. And for a moment, I could almost feel his presence. There was a calm, steady energy, not only of a man who made peace with the world, but a man that seemed to enjoy that his words meant something more, something deeper within the heart of people that walk the earth today. I think about how Boone never stopped walking, though. Even when his body slowed down, it's amazing how his spirit never did. There's something that I carry with me, especially when I'm on the trail, where I feel lost or uncertain. I reflect on that very principle. To just keep walking, to trust the journey, to find peace, even in the changing landscapes of life around me. Before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to thank the partners who have made this series possible. Whether you're out exploring a new trail or you're quietly sitting by a fire, being prepared is everything. And that's why I trust my medic for all my first aid and medical needs. Their first aid kits are built for real life, the kind of life that Boone would have understood. Visit mymedic.com. Use promo code PROJECTOutdoors15 to save yourself 15% on your entire order. And when it comes to keeping your body fueled on the trail, I rely on Mountain House meals. They're lightweight, nourishing, and ready whenever you are. And best of all, the ingredients that they use. They're something that's suitable for most diets that are out there. So, because mindfulness starts with being ready in mind, body, and soul, hit the link in the show notes and stock up on Mountain House meals for your next adventure. Boone's last years weren't about conquest or discovery any longer. They were about reflection. And looking back over long and wild, sometimes even crazy aspects of his life helped him to realize that peace doesn't come from what you find. It comes from what you relinquish. He had walked through loss, failure, and fading fame, but he never stopped seeing the beauty of the world that was around him. The trees, the river, the sunset. They were still his teacher, all the way until the end. And when he passed away in 1820 at the age of 85, I like to imagine that it wasn't the end at all. Instead, he crossed over onto a brand new trail. Another aspect of the great wilderness that's all around us, both what we can see and what we can feel. You know, Boone's story reminds us that mindfulness isn't about simply breathing or saying that we're going to sit down and meditate. It's about the fundamental aspect of being present. It's about walking through life, through every triumph and every trial, with an open heart and a steady step. No matter how large or small that step may be, it's simply about the presence and the intention to put your foot back on the ground. The wilderness truly shaped Boone, but it also reflected its vision upon his footsteps. And maybe that's the same for us. I believe that when you go into the woods, it's not to escape life, but instead, it's to honor and remember it. And as we close this series on Daniel Boone, I invite you to take a moment, wherever you are, listening to the wind or listening to the rain. Feel your breath. Remember that the wilderness that shaped Boone lives within you. Because the frontier was never just a place. It was a way of being. A calling to live fully simply and mindfully. I'm Mike Martin, and thank you for walking this trail with me here on the Project Mindfully Outdoors podcast. Make sure you tune in next week where we hit a whole new journey as we explore the life and legend of Crazy Horse, a man whose strength and spirit continue to echo through time. Until next time, my friend, I'll see you at projectmindfullyoutdoors.co. But make sure you get out there in the wilderness. That's where the stillness and the adventure lie. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Project Mindfully Outdoors podcast. Please remember to subscribe to the show and visit www.projectmindfulyoutdoors.co for more